turquoise and emerald green. All the islands offshore are sanctuaries for exotic seabirds. Those of us that are standing are barefoot in the soft, powdery sands. Our bodies are all being fanned by balmy breezes. And we have a beautiful orchestra today, the sound of the surf. And whether you know it or not, where's everybody from, basically? What part of the world? Colorado. Okay, so you're like about 4,000 miles from home, I guess. About 1,500 miles of land, another 2,500 miles of sea. Believe it or not, this is the most isolated island chain in the world. There's nothing more isolated than Waimanalo. Which affords you particularly our wedding couple, it affords them the luxury to leave behind all the stresses and politics of everyday life. And in this very distant paradise, we're now going to perform a sacred ceremony of matrimony, wherein the hearts and souls of Dan and Erica will now intertwine as one by the divine link or union of love and holy matrimony. And what this very fortunate couple has been sharing together really since they were children. I asked them this morning, how long have you been together? They said it was like 6.5 years? 5.5 years. I thought, what, they meet in his crib? Is he like, hitting on her and the next, grabbing her cradle or something? But it's true, isn't it? I mean, they're children now. But to speak of being together for 5.5 years, you know how fortunate that is? They always talk about some poor gal finally meet her Prince Charming. She's got to kiss all these toads, right? She got off easy, right? But to speak of Dan, usually you got to get your heart broken. It's terrible. Guys, like, you hit the jackpot, like somebody going to Las Vegas and you hit the machine and bam, you're ready to leave. You can hardly carry it all out with you. Sharing together for the last 5.5 years, undoubtedly, what makes life worth living. Because we are all about love. That is the soul. And all the other pleasures of life mean nothing compared to the treasure of love. Because Dan, Erica, what could I offer you right now to have you separate? What in this world could I offer?
Nothing at all.
No amount of money. How about I just make you famous, like turn you into a rock star? You've got it all. You've got the greatest that life has to offer. You've got each other. You've got love. And face it, when we're in love, it doesn't matter if we're rich or poor, or living in a palace or under a tree. We're in love here, aren't we? But what we want to bring into very pragmatic reality wedding day of Dan and Erica is that though love is the greatest jewel of all, we must very humbly acknowledge that that love comes with profound commitment and responsibility. Because at any second, it could all be gone. That makes me think of a tradition in the Jewish faith. Anybody ever been to a Jewish wedding? What do they do with a champagne glass? Smash it. You know what that's about? It's a good analogy. This glass, which theoretically could have been handed down from great-great-grandma, could have been hundreds, 1,000 years old, in 1 second to smash it, shatter it. Once you shatter it, you can't undo that act. You can certainly never put it back together. Because nowadays we've got super glue. So it doesn't really throw out that analogy because you can piece it together with glue. The super glue would never be the same. It would look all crooked, probably cut your fingers, leak. But in a second, smash. Now you've been together 5.5 years. Safe to say, in 5.5 years, you will be engaged in what I want to call is the most intimate act that any two lovers can ever engage in? The answer is giving your heart. Because once you've given someone your heart, the fact is there's nothing left to give. That heart is the quintessential core of our soul. And another point is, you can't just give your heart, can you? Because it won't come out. Like a tortoise. Everybody seen a tortoise when they draw all the limbs in the body? It's just a shell. Only when that tortoise perceives everything is really safe and really secure does the head and the limbs come out. Well, it's taken 5.5 years. Actually, a good part of your lives. Yeah. And you have now, over the 5.5 years, have done the most vulnerable act any being can ever do, and that's to give your heart. Taken 5.5 years, but here's the question. How long would it take to kill? The answer is one moment of carelessness, like betrayal or what have you. Then I'm telling you, Dan, and Erica, all the king's horses and all the king's men. That sounded archaic. Try it again. All the therapy and all the Prozac will never quite make those hearts. So what's the bottom line? Bottom line of a wedding is two people come together in the presence of friends, family, the presence of whatever we perceive of as the divine. Open up their hearts and make a commitment that is so far beyond any other commitment, it goes in a whole new category called a covenant. Sacred promise. We're making a big deal about that. I mean, look how far you've flown. Look how you're dressed. Look how everybody's organized. There's rings coming up in a minute. You'll wear from this day forward to remind you of the commitment. Why are we making such a big deal about it? What's the point? They've been together 5.5 years. We know they're in love. We know they're connected. Nobody plans to go anywhere. Things are going great. Why are we making a big deal about it? The answer is, the time may come in this great journey you're taking together, you may not have the feelings that you feel today. That's why in all weddings, they don't just say, I promise to accept you while it feels good. They say good times and bad times and sickness and health, for richer and for poor, things you haven't seen. Let's make a metaphor. Let's all picture in our mind's eye this marriage, this relationship taking the form of a beautiful sailing ship. That's what marriage is. And today as co-captains, Captain Dan, Captain Erica are going to board that vessel and put out to a sea infinitely more beautiful than any of the seas of this world. And what is the name of that sea? It's the Sea of Love. Oh, what a sea. But be forewarned, Dan and Erica, you sail that sea long enough, you will encounter storms. Trust me. It's a matter of time till you'll need to reflect back on this great journey to the day we all stood together and you made your promise. Sounds like I'm going negative, doesn't it? I'm talking about difficulties, troubles, problems that they've probably never seen. Now, I find it hard to believe in 5.5 years there hasn't been a little turbulence. But actually, it's part of the perfection, the imperfection. Just like in our lives, who here hasn't been hurt? Who hasn't got the short end of the stick? Raise your hand. But isn't it true, all the pain we've gone through in life and all the struggles and difficulties have built our character and purified our hearts and made us who we are? Dan, if I were to ask you, and similarly, Erica, honey, if I were to ask you, what did you really fall in love with? And you thought about that long enough and you dissected out everything superfluous, you're going to come down to character. It's the character that we love. But the character didn't come when you were walking on cake, barefoot through the ice. The character came when you struggled with life. The same is true in that great voyage you're taking together. You know, there's an old saying, very apropos, an old saying in the world of mariners, a saying that's been handed down since men first went to sea. And that is, sincere love. It's the challenge. So if you're willing to commit, when that wind blows a gale and that weather gets foul, you're going to batten down those hatches, hold fast to that helm, stay the course, and ride out that storm. I've said a lot so far. Anybody remember everything I said? Because I don't. Made a recording for them, MP3 file. You think in a storm they're going to get their iPods out and play back what the old captain said? Highly doubt it. So what are we really accomplishing here? Okay. I want to give you 3 words to remember. You can remember 3 words. If you can take these 3 words and establish these 3 words in the ballast of this ship, in the chambers of your heart, those 3 words are never jump ship. Now you're probably thinking, what's this guy talking about, never jump ship? Come on. We're high school sweethearts. You talk to any sincere lover who sailed that sea, it wasn't a thought right in their mind. It was a thought out there at some point, sometime. Jumping ship. That's the nemesis in that great sea. It may come. But today, if you can fix that in your hearts, and every time you look at your rings, those rings remind you, no matter how tough it gets, we'll ride it out. We're not jumping ship. And I can assure you, nothing will ever come between you. And I can further promise, as incredibly sweet as your love is, it's just the beginning. Sweet, isn't it? Trust me, it's just the beginning. Love is the one thing in life that can get better and better and sweeter because it's the pleasure of the soul. If that's your purpose, I can assure you it will always remain in the truest sense of the word, happily married. So now I'm going to sing an ancient an ancient Sanskrit prayer. Sanskrit, by the way, if you're not familiar, Sanskrit is the mother language of all languages. What I'm singing are basically names of God. Very ancient, eternal, divine names of God, all about divine love. Whether you understand or not, just let the sound vibration enter into your ear. It is like mantra. Let the sound enter into your ear and into your hearts, and let it soften the hearts. So the potential of the soul opens, and divine love becomes manifest. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vinodi Jaya Radha other and join hands. And as you make your sacred vows to one another, I want you to open your hearts wide open. Speak from your heart's innermost chambers as you repeat after me, beginning with Dan. I, Dan.
I, Dan.
Take you, Erica.
Take you, Erica.
As my wedded wife.
As my wedded wife.
I promise to always love you.
I promise to always love you.
To remain faithful to you.
To remain faithful to you.
And I promise to embrace.
And I promise to embrace.
Every opportunity.
Every opportunity.
That life presents.
That life presents.
To strengthen.
Strengthen.
And expand my love.
Expand my love.
And our best man that provides me. Dan, as you put Erica's ring upon her finger, I'd like you to say this wedding ring.
This wedding ring
Symbolizes
symbolizes
my unconditional love.
my unconditional love
For you.
for you.
And my commitment.
And my commitment.
To never jump ship.
And my commitment to never jump ship.
Now, Erica, I, Erica, take you, Dan, as my wedded husband. I promise to always love you. To remain faithful to you. And I promise to embrace every opportunity that life presents to strengthen and expand my love. Thank you, honey. Honey, can you also say this wedding ring symbolizes my unconditional love for you. So at this time, everyone, it is my great pleasure and honor first, the authority vested in me by the state of Hawaii, most importantly, all that is divine. I now pronounce Dan, Erica, husband, and wife. Dan, you may kiss the bride. Aloha!